Alright, welcome back. In this episode, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the numbers on this MG Midget. Partly because what we want to do is we want to determine what the actual manufacture date of the car is. What it's titled as is a 1967 MG Midget, but because it's an import, sometimes when it's actually titled or put on the road is going to be different than the manufacture date. And it's going to be important to know what year the car was actually manufactured because it's going to help us to order the right parts later on down the road. So in this episode, we're going to look at the engine number, we're going to look at the VIN number, and try to determine what is the actual year this car was manufactured. So when I first started inquiring about this car, I was told it was a 67 Midget, and so one of the things I asked the guy to do was to show me the engine number, which is right here on the side of the block, and tell me what the number is. And in 1967, that's when they started actually using the 1275cc motor. And so if it were a 1275cc motor, it would start with 12cc. But if you take a look at this, engine code, I'm going to zoom in here and let you see it. It actually starts with 10cc. You can see it right there at the front part of the number, 10cc, which means this is a 1098cc motor, and they didn't actually use those in 1967. So even though it's titled a 67, it began to give me clues this car wasn't actually manufactured in 1967. The other number that we can look at is there's a VIN plate that's over here on this driver's side arm that goes down on the body, and that VIN plate has a number on it as well. It's going to help us determine what year it was manufactured. So let me show you if I can hopefully give you, if you can see the number in here. And maybe what you can see is the number starts with GAN3L. That's the number starts with. Hopefully, maybe right there you can see it. It starts with GAN3, which that would have been the number that they would have used if it was a GAN4. That would be a 1967, but this is GAN3, which means it would have been through probably 64 through 66 is when they used the GAN3 number. The L stands for left-hand drive, so that it was going to be an import right from the beginning. So that tells me again, it's not a 1967, because if it was, it would start with GAN4, and this one starts with GAN3. So another place we can go on these midgets, because a VIN plate's easily removed, it should be riveted on. That one's actually screwed on, but sometimes what happens in these cars is people will take a VIN plate off of one car and move it on another if they don't have a title for it. But on these midgets, there's another place you can go to check what the actual number is. They stamped on this control arm over on the passenger side a number that should match the actual VIN number. And I'm probably gonna have to get a flashlight for you to be able to see it. Hopefully we'll be able to take a look. If you look right down here, you'll see, and it's hard to tell over on this one side, but the number is there again. It's the GAN number. It's GAN3. Not, there, maybe I can get a good shot right there. It's a GAN3, and it actually matches, the whole number matches what's on the VIN plate. So the VIN plate is the right number. It's the right for this car, and it's actually stamped right here. So we now know it's a GAN3, and if you go online, there's all kind of places where you can put the number in, and it'll actually tell you the month and date of when the car was manufactured. And this car was actually manufactured in '65. So that would make sense for this car matching the motor number. Now, the British didn't necessarily match the number code on the engine to the one on the VIN. Those aren't necessarily always the same. They didn't do that. They didn't do matching numbers like we do in the US, but it should be all correct. The VIN plate matches what's stamped here. The 10cc the 1098cc motor matches what would have been put in a 1965. So for our purposes, this, even though it's titled a 1967 MG Midget, it's actually a 1965 MG Midget.